I work at a third-party company that works for Amazon, and in turn they provide drivers, me, to deliver Amazon's packages. Today I quit that job. I'll tell you why. At this particular job, you didn't know what van you were going to be driving that day, if your van was going to work, if your charger was going to work, if you were even gonna have a charger, if your phone was going to work. They hand out phones there that you can use and all that stuff. You didn't know if that was going to work. You didn't know if the mail sorters were going to have your route pulled by the time you even freaking went into the building. And you also didn't know if you were going to be rescued if you got into some, deep trouble and you were falling way behind. Most likely you were not going to be rescued, because I haven't been rescued the last 3 times in a row. I have not been rescued. Even though I've rescued plenty of people. I've made plenty of rescues there. I started back in January, okay? It's 4 days on, 3 days off. 10-hour shifts. So 40 hours a week, 4 days, 3 days off. Awesome. It's great, actually. And 8:30 is the time we're supposed to be there. And we do stand-up around 8:45. Stand-up is when the manager has us all gather around. He hypes us all up. Tells us what's going on, any updates on the schedule, any updates on Amazon, any changes, stuff like that. And tries to boost morale. He's actually a pretty good manager. Anyway, last October we were notified that the schedule was going to be pushed back to 7:30, so that way we can compensate for daylight savings time. And to me, this is awesome. Gonna show up an hour earlier? That's fine. That's totally fine. It means we can beat the sun now. We can finally beat the sun, because at this point we're getting out of that frickin' shop way too late. Way too late. A month passes, and on the day that it was supposed to start, I show up, they had canceled it. They didn't tell me. I had been off the 3 days prior to that. I've been off. They didn't notify me. Along with a couple other guys who showed up an hour early like I did. Fine. So I just showed up an hour early for no reason. Great. Okay. Meanwhile, at this time, the mail sorters, they're falling behind on packages, man. They're falling way behind. They're suffering. They're drowning in these things because there's not enough people there. Anyway, a week later, they announce it's going to happen. Next week, 2 weeks from now, it's going to happen. Finally, we're going to go back to 7:30. That is canceled. For the final time, they announce it a week before, and then the next week, they finally did it. That Sunday, they finally did it. They went to 7:30. And then for a little while, like maybe a couple of days, we were able to get out of there at like 9:30. Again. Beforehand, I was getting out of there at like 10 o'clock, 10:30 to my stop. Also, at this point, they've announced a $10 raise per day. So instead of making $150 a day, you're making $160 a day. A $10 per day raise. So from our original daily salary that we were being paid at that time, they're adding 10 each day. 10 on each day or whatever. But here's the caveat of that. You don't get that extra $10 payout on each one of those days until the 28th of December, unless you're there every single day on time. Cannot miss any days. Okay, fine. A week later, it gets worse. Again. Now we're at this point, we're showing up at 7:30, but we're not getting out of there until 10:30. We're standing around for nearly 3 hours doing absolutely nothing but wasting time. So, without telling me, and a few other guys, again, while we're off, during the off days that we had, they pushed the schedule up ahead, back to 8. Not 8:30, but 8. Again, showed up too early. They changed the schedule again. Mind you, at this time, there's so many people, and working in that one hub, there's no parking anywhere. So, we're down the road at a completely different company's parking lot, out in the open, parking our cars there, standing in line getting our vans, doing stand-up out in the cold. We get our vans and we go to the hub from that location. Last week I was notified that starting this week, 5 days mandatory. There's going to be a raise. There's going to be a raise on that 5th day or whatever, but 5 days mandatory, and if you miss any of those days, you won't get any of that payout on December 28th. That payday. I'm like, dude, anything could happen between now. I could injure myself. I could fall out. I could slip on the fucking van and break my ankle. Like, who knows, man? Who knows? Anyway, 2 day, I get there. I get my van. It's van 6. I go look for it. It's not there. Not there. Everybody's getting their vans and taking off, going up to the hub. I'm still left behind going, where's the van? Where's my fucking van at, man? I'm finally given another van, only it's a completely different model van. It's a Ford instead of the high-top Nissan van I'm used to been driving for like the last 9 months. So I'm like, okay, fine, this is new. I might be able to get used to this in less than an hour before I'm on the road. I check the mirrors, I do all this usual stuff, I check the camera, it's weird. It's from the top view instead of the bottom view like my van is, where you can see the bumper. On the vans that I'm used to driving, you can see the bumper. You can really see how close you are to something when you're backing up. Really see it. It's perfect. This van's, it's the camera's on top. You really can't see the bumper. You really can't tell how close you are to something. It's weird. And the van is kind of smaller too, so I'm not even sure how many packages I can fit in there. Also, the console or the seats, the passenger seats, all that stuff's different too, so I'm not really sure where I'm going to place my packages in the front seat area. So that way I'm able to grab one of them and get out the door up to the neighbor's house and then drop it off, efficiently and quick. I'm trying to figure all this shit out as I'm waiting in line. An hour and a half goes by. It is 10:45. All the other vans that went up there before me are already in the hub, and some of them still haven't even had their routes pulled. Some of them. They're still there. At this point, I'm getting, I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of it. I do not want to be outside, doing this until 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I don't want to be out there in the dark. It's going to take forever because you're not going to be able to see nothing. It's going to be so dark. You cannot see any of these people's addresses in the dark. You just can't see them. It takes forever to find a house. Top that with a new van that I've never driven, with a new camera, new design inside there. I don't know where to put the packages at. So, I'm like, okay, fine. You know what? 11 o'clock rolls around, and I'm not inside that hub. I'm quitting. I'm done. 10:52 hits. We're able to go in, finally. I park my van. I'm like, okay, finally, God. Looking for my route, going up and down the line, looking for it. Where's the route? 170, Route 170. Where is it? They don't have it. I talked to one of the mail sorters, the head of the mail sorters, who's in charge of what's been pulled and all that. And she tells me, it's still being pulled. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I didn't say that to her. I just thought that. It just clicked. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. Go to my van, get my stuff. Go to the, I go to the front of the, building. I drop my badge on the guys. I dropped my badge on the guy who trained me. The first day I was there, who trained me, I dropped my badge on on the desk. He's sitting there because he's dispatching. I just drop it on the table. He's like, where you going, man? I'm like, I'm out. I quit. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore, man. I'm done. Just to give you an idea of what some of these routes are like. Like, this is what I call a juggernaut route, where it is... This is back in June, too. This is when everything was actually not like this. We're not getting out at like 11 o'clock. Ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I got to my first stop at 9:50, and I was done at 5:28 p.m. 238 stops. 310 packages. Perfect route, because there was no missorts and there was no unscanned packages in there. These are all the route JB numbers. That we don't use them anymore, but we use another number. But anyway, yeah, those are all the packages per route. You open this thing up, and this is all the addresses. All the addresses. This is your entire manifest. And then, the thing is, they weren't even giving us these anymore. They weren't even giving us the entire manifest anymore recently because there were too many people complaining about these new routes that they were getting they weren't used to. So they took that away from us. All they were giving us was these little things right here so we can sort our boxes. And this is just one thing this is just one of the things. There's other things that have been happening the last 9 months I've been working there. Well, worked there. People not filling up the vans at the end of the route. They don't fill up their vans. So, you're going to go out there, get a van, and it's going to have less than a half a tank of gas in it. Oh, now you also have to not only are you getting out late as shit, you're already behind, way behind schedule, but now you got to go take it to a gas station and fill the damn thing up, wasting even more time. People trashing the vans, leaving their damn drinks in the frickin' vans, trash of paper, their frickin' food all over the floor. One of the vans that I regularly drive, the lock keeps sticking, and every time you go to stop, these vans have got auto lock. When you stop and park the van, the door's unlocked. Well, the driver's side door didn't do that. The lock was broken. You had to force it the manual lock so far back And for it to unlock or for you to be able to open it, but because if it moved just a couple of centimeters forward, it would lock. It would be locked. So I had to stick a piece of paper in between the lock to keep it from moving at all. A couple months ago, hell, like the same van with the lock problem that I was just talked about now. It got stuck in park. I had 19 stops left. I was almost done with my route. It got stuck in park. So I'm sitting there, I got my foot on the brake as hard as because you have to put your foot on the brake to get it out of park anyway. So I'm pushing on the brake as hard as I can and pulling down on the freaking shifting arm as hard as I can, and the freaking shifting arm just broke. It's just sitting there dangling there now. Now I can't get the car out of gear at all. I can't drive it anymore. I call up. I call for a rescue. Nobody comes and rescues me. I'm there for an hour before a tow truck shows up. I go to the freaking Nissan dealership. I ride with my manager back to the shop when we were actually still in there, when we were actually still doing stand-up in the shop, not down the road. I had to take the rest of my packages, put them in another van, and drive them all the way back out to my route and finish those because nobody would rescue me. That's not even everything either. That's still not everything. I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head, but there's still some stuff that I can't think of. It's just a culmination of all this shit, I'm surprised I lasted this long. So many people have come and gone to that place. So many mail sorters have come and gone to that place. I swear, people get hired in the mail sorting section. They get hired for like one day and quit. They can't seem to they can't keep any employees there, which is why they're falling behind. Right now, Amazon is drowning in packages. They cannot keep up with them. They can't keep up with them. And I gotta be honest, not more than half an hour ago, my manager called me up and said, is there any way I can get you back? Is there any way? And dude, he was like the first manager that had ever done that. Like, I've never been called back from a manager on a walkout. Like, on anybody. I never heard of that. I walked out of there. I didn't even put my 2 weeks in. I just quit right there. And he still calls me back and said there's any way for me to, come back there because, I'm like, I do rescues. I work hard. I'm there every fucking day. And I was like, I really do appreciate you calling me back, man. But I already drew my line in the sand. And I know if I come back, this is just going to keep getting worse. It's going to keep getting worse, and it's just going to keep on happening. Very nice guy, though. I really am grateful for that, but I feel kind of guilty for quitting now. But I got to stick to my guns, man. Got to stick to my guns. Well, thanks for watching this video. You all have a good night. Later.